Very good morning. This presentation is brought to you by Resonate International with a mission to leverage knowledge worldwide. The topic being covered is US presidential election, how costly it has become. Ladies and gentlemen, the US presidential election, once an earnest exercise in democratic choice, has transformed into one of the most expensive political events worldwide. This escalating cost is not only a matter of inflation, but reflects a shift in campaign strategy fueled by unprecedented financial contributions, technological advancements, and fierce competition for public opinion. With the principles of democracy at stake, examining the dynamics of this trend and exploring sensible reforms becomes essential. Let us look at the evolution of campaign costs over time. In 2000, all US federal elections combined cost about $3 billion, a record at that time. By 2020, this figure had soared to over $14 billion, with the presidential race alone costing upwards of $5 billion. Adjusted for inflation, this represents an over four-fold increase within just 2 decades. To put this in perspective, $5 billion is roughly equivalent to funding the annual budgets of multiple US states, emphasizing how the electoral process has become as financially demanding as large-scale public projects. Let us look at the sources of this funding and the influence of Citizens United. Campaigns rely on donations from individual supporters, party committees, and PACs. Yet, the most powerful contributions come from super PACs. This shift traces back to the 2010 Supreme Court ruling in Citizens United versus Federal Election Commission, which eliminated restrictions on independent political spending by corporations, unions, and wealthy individuals. In effect, Citizens United created an avenue for billions in campaign spending, allowing those with the deepest pockets to wield substantial influence. In 2020, super PACs alone contributed over $3 billion to campaigns, with 50 top donors responsible for nearly a quarter of all campaign funds. These concentrated contributions raise critical questions about the disproportionate influence of wealth in elections. Are a handful of donors effectively guiding the nation's course? Is a question mark. Let us also examine economic and psychological costs to the society. The toll is not merely financial. Prolonged campaigns place an emotional burden on society. Studies indicate that over 70% of Americans report feeling mentally fatigued by extended election cycles. Constant exposure to ads, appeals, and polarized messaging has been linked to voter anxiety and disengagement. This mental exhaustion suggests that high-cost campaigns, despite their reach, may leave citizens feeling overwhelmed rather than empowered. There is a value question also. While these billions are spent on a 4-year presidential term, the question lingers: does such investment bring a proportionate benefit to the society? Campaigns now resemble massive corporate marketing strategies. But unlike corporate investment that delivers goods or services, campaign funds largely disappear after election day, leaving citizens to bear the economic and emotional costs. The question must be asked: is this financial outlay yielding a government that reflects the needs of its people, or merely a system catering to those who can afford a seat at the table? There are examples in other worldwide democracies which can be used as a comparison. Other democratic nations employ measures to control costs while preserving fairness and access. The United Kingdom restricts general election spending to approximately £20 million per major party, which is equivalent to about $25 million. France limits campaign advertising periods and bans paid TV ads, reducing thus undue influence. Germany uses a public funding model which restricts private donations and encourages broader candidate participation. These approaches show that effective alternatives to high-cost campaigning are not only possible but already in place, managing costs while maintaining robust democratic engagement. What is the recommended path forward? With these examples in mind, several strategies may be effective in addressing the costs and enhancing the quality of US presidential elections. First is campaign spending caps. Setting a cap on campaign spending would lessen reliance on large donations and create a more level playing field. Second is public funding models. Expanding public funding, perhaps by matching small donations, would empower everyday citizens and reduce the influence of super PACs. Third is transparency and digital ad regulation. Requiring digital ad transparency, real-time reporting and verification would prevent misuse of targeted messaging, building trust in this process. Fourth is shortened campaign periods. Defining campaign seasons could alleviate election fatigue, encouraging a more focused, meaningful voter engagement period. These recommendations draw on proven models, demonstrating that practical solutions are within reach. A reformed system could bring renewed faith in democracy, with elections accessible to all, affordable for society, and representative of a broader spectrum of voices. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, the financial arms race of US presidential elections challenges the ideals of democracy, accountability, and equal representation. Imagine a system where every citizen's voice counts equally, not overshadowed by financial power, free from excessive influence, and focused on the issues and policies that matter the most. Such a vision requires courage, commitment, and decisive action. Future generations may look back on this movement as one where American democracy took a stand for equality over extravaganza. The call to action is clear. A balanced, fair election system is not just a possibility, it is an urgent necessity. Good luck, America. Best wishes, and thank you very much for listening.